Hello. Today we are going to furnish the first floor and build the swimming pool and the backyard. Let's start with building the backyard first. For that we should go to the site level right in there, and the first thing you should see is that the scale is very small, so we see everything out there. I should probably hide the exterior elevation symbols, VH. And when you see this symbol right in there, that's a clue that you are in the site level. And now we see the house from high up. So this is the view where we should build the backyard. The first thing I would do is I would hide the roofs. I want to see the outline of the house. I don't want to see really the outline of the roof. So let's hide the category VH. Now we can see where the house is. And then I'm going to the massing and site tab, and this is the command that we're going to be looking at, topo surface. Here is how that works. Before I start with this, I'm going to create one section that goes somewhere over here, and let's just look at what's happening. Okay, we have ground level at -6'6", and so that's really the difference in elevation that we have to create in here. So from this level right in here, this is where 0 is, down over here this is going to be -6'6". Okay, so here's how it works. Topo surface, and you're asked to start placing points. I'm going to create one right in here on the side so you see what's happening. So right now I'm working on elevation level 0. So here I'm going to place a few points like this, and then let's say I'm going to change this up to 15 feet and start clicking over here. So between this over here and this level over there, there is a 15-foot difference. I can keep changing this. Maybe now that goes to 25 feet, and just keep going more like this, and then I can change this, go back to -7 feet or 8 feet. So now that means that this should be going down. Let's complete this and go into 3D view, not this one. Let's go into a regular 3D view. Okay, that's what I created. This is some kind of a hill. It doesn't look very much like a real hill, but I didn't really spend any time on it. But the idea here is that by changing the elevation, you're creating a surface that goes up and down in whatever direction you want it to go. Let's get rid of this. Go back to site level. So let's start building the topo surface. I will start with 0. Elevation, and everything over here on this side of the house needs to be at 0, and then in this direction sloping down somewhere up to this line should be -6'6". 6'6". So I will kind of eyeball this somewhere over there and somewhere over there, and I'm going right in front of the garage. I probably should move this a little bit, and I'm going on the outside here, because what happens now is from here to here is -6'6", and then this should be flat at 6'6", and from here to out here should be flat at -6'6". So let's complete the command and let's see what did I do in here. I'm going to stretch this section a little bit and go in here, hide the levels, VH, and yeah, that kind of works. So up from this level, going down to 6'6" in front of the garage, and that's flat right in here where the driveway would be. So this is really how we create the topo surface. Now the problem with this topo surface is that it goes through the house. If I go to 3D view and let's shade this, shade it, and if I go underneath the house, you will see, well, we have floors in here, but this really goes through the house. It goes through the first floor. You can actually see it right in here. It goes right inside the house, and that's a problem. That's not what I really want. So go back to the site level, and what we need to do is to split this surface, and back to the massing and site, and here is the split surface command. Click the split surface, select the topo surface, and now what you should do is just outline the house. Well, I picked the wrong point, so I'm going to do something like this. And actually I can use the pick lines tool. I want to outline the deck as well. I think I need to clean this up as well. Okay, I think this is good enough. Yes, it is. Now what happens is I have two topo surfaces. If I isolate this category, you will see that there is one topo surface and there is another one. So you have to delete the one in the middle. There shouldn't be topo surface where the house is. Then I'm going to reset the temporary hide. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this surface one more time, but this time I will do something like this. Let's say from here to here to there and to there and right in there. Now the reason I split this is because I can assign different materials to these surfaces. They have assigned instance parameter, and if I select this right in here, I have material, and I can go and assign grass material right in here. And we'll do this when we get to the rendering part. And then I can select this topo surface and assign some kind of pavement or asphalt. And again, I can be very detailed with this. Maybe I can create a walkway over here and just change the material to this. But for now, I'm just going to leave it just like this, because I'm not going to render this area, so I will not spend any time really. I just wanted to show you that you can split the surface and assign different materials to all the different surfaces. Next thing, let's build the pool in here. So I can do this either in the site level or on the first floor level. It doesn't really matter. So let's hide these guys in here as well, VH, and I'll just move this out there. And I guess what I would do is I would edit the boundary of this floor slab in here. First thing I notice is that this is not aligned. So I will do this, and then I will just use something like this and come up with some kind of shape right in here. And it doesn't have to be curved. You can use a rectangular pool if you prefer. I'm just going to see if I can come up with some kind of shape in here. So notice that I'm locking the relationship always with the previous arc, so it gives me some kind of so it gives me a shape that kind of makes sense. Maybe something like this. Now that doesn't work very well, so perhaps I'll delete this and just create an arc from here to over there. SE to snap to the endpoint, and alright, that kind of works. Again, not the best over here, but this is close enough. And I'm going to complete this. So what I really did here is I just opened the deck. If I go shaded view, that's what we have. Now we have to build the pool inside of this. And guess what? It's going to be model in place component. You can classify this as anything you want, maybe generic model. Let's see. I don't know what it's going to be. It's not going to be floor, but you decide in which category you want to place this. And then I guess the easiest way to go with this would be to build an extrusion which starts at 0 And let's make this about 5 feet deep, so -5 feet. And I'm going to the pick lines tool, something like this, and I can offset these. Let's see, offset them about 1'6", something like this, to the inside. Okay, and now this disappeared. Now, do you have an idea why that happened? Well, this really has to do with the view range. Right now, I bet you that the view range is set, so the bottom of the view range is at the level, is at 0, so it doesn't see anything below the level. So let's go and check this. Here's the view range, and yes, the bottom is the associated level, so we don't see anything below level 1. So let's go level below, and this is going to be level below. Okay, now we see the outline of the pool walls, and I'm going to edit in place and create one more extrusion. This time this is going to start at -5 feet and then make it then at -5'5" or something like this. And again, pick the lines. This is the bottom of the pool, complete. And now I'm going to 3D view here. Let's go to this 3D view. There's the pool. Let's select the bottom, extrusion, and the walls, and create the material, parameter material. So this is going to be pool. Okay. And then back to plan view. I will create one more extrusion in here. Extrusion, this time this is going to start at 0 and end at -1 inch or something like this. It doesn't have to be a lot. And this is going to be another extrusion on top of the pool. And this time I'm going to assign a parameter for this. This is going to be water. So when we assign material to this extrusion, that's actually going to make it look like a real pool. And finish. And that's really what this looks like when it's shaded, but when we render it, it's going to look very different. So for now, I'm going to leave it like this and then go back to the site level. And now I'm going to stop modeling for a second and make a decision in here. I want to render two views, one exterior view and one interior view. So the first thing I will do is try to set my views, and then I will build everything that's visible in those views and disregard everything else. I don't really want to spend all the time in the world building things that I'm not going to render. So let's create the exterior view camera. So let's say somewhere from here we're going to look this way. Okay, so if we stretch this a little bit, that's good. Maybe something over there. Okay, that seems like a good view, and I'm actually going to rename it so I know which view I'm going to be rendering. Exterior. And then the next thing I will do is I will go inside the first floor and take the interior view. So I think we should take a view from over here looking that way, so we're going to see this wall unit and the kitchen and the dining room as well. So let's see, camera somewhere over here. Make sure to go all the way out there. Okay, so this goes like this. Okay, I want to see a little bit of this area over here. Okay, something like this, not too bad. Maybe a little too distorted, but it's actually alright. And this would be the interior view. Rename. Okay, so now that I have the views, I'm going to build everything that I see in these views, which means when I get here, from this view I'm going to see what's happening here, and from this view I'm going to see what's happening in this area. So I want to stop this somehow, so I'm going to build a fence that goes around the house, and then this is going to kind of frame the view that I will be rendering. And for that I'm going to save this for a second, and I will go and create a new family. New family, and I'm going to use the profile family. Profile, open. Okay, so here's what I want to do. Rectangle, something like this, and I will make this rectangle, let's say 1 inch thick and about 11 inches high. Then next thing would be select all of this, copy multiple, and point up. Go 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot. That makes it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 feet. That's tall enough, I would say, about 5 feet high. Then I'm going to save this. I'm going to save it into right in here, and I will call this fence and save. And then the next thing would be to load it in the project. Load and close. It's already in the project, so I don't need to do anything else here. Hidden line. And actually I want to work in the site view. Here's what I will do. Again, component, model in place, and this you can probably classify as site because it really belongs to the site. Okay. And I'm going to build an extrusion, and I'm going something like this. I know that it's overlapping the side, but that's fine. And I'm doing something like this and extrude this a lot. It doesn't matter what, let's say 15 feet. The only reason I'm using this extrusion is that I can build the fence using this edge, the interior edge. And this is how I'm going to do this. Let's just make this hidden line. I'm going back to create, and this time I'm going to use sweep and pick the path. And the path is going to be the inside edge of this extrusion. Okay, there we go. That's the path. Now complete this step, and next thing would be to select the profile, which I already built. Fence. Let's zoom in. Okay, it's upside down, so let's change the angle and see 180 degree. Okay, that goes exactly where I want it to go. Complete. And then while it's selected, I'm going to create a parameter here, material. And later on we're going to assign a material to this. Now that I have this fence, I can delete the big extrusion underneath. I don't need it anymore. And finish. And let's just go into my exterior view and see what's happening. Okay, that's it. I see this a little bit. That's good enough. Next thing I would do is I would go to site level and start importing some plants in here. You're probably familiar that if you go to the component command and if you scroll down here, you should see a bunch of trees. They're called RPC trees. RPC stands for Rich Photorealistic Content. And I don't know much about trees, so I'm going to experiment in here, and I'm going for big trees in here. Let's pick a big one right in here. Doesn't have to be in front of the fence, maybe it's behind the fence, somewhere here. So I'm placing it in a way that I'm going to see it. Remember, my camera is somewhere over here looking this way. So here's one tree. Maybe I pick another one. So red maple, maybe there's going to be something in here, and just keep going with the trees. Then I want to select some kind of a bush to go around the deck. I don't see any in here, so if I go to load family, and this should be under planting right in here. Let's see what we have here. There is a shrub. Let's pick this one, open, and I'm just going to do this. I'm going to start placing these arbitrarily, just like that. And okay, something like this. Now notice what happens with these guys. If you select this, you can actually change the height. Right now this is 3'6", and there are different types of shrubs in here. So maybe this becomes this, and then this becomes something else, and just play with this. Or you can use the same type of shrub, but just change the height of it. So let's go like this, and let's see exterior view. Okay, there you go. These look very different now. And I don't see this tree very much, so maybe I can move it a little bit in this direction. And maybe I need to go back and put another tree in there. So keep going with this. Maybe one of these trees goes somewhere over there. And make sure to build trees and shrubs around the area that you are going to see. So go ahead and spend some time placing plants around the house, and go back and forth between 3D view and perspective view and plan view to figure out where to place the plants. Also, I inserted all kinds of furniture components, and again I placed them only in the areas that I'm going to see in the two views. So I have some outdoor furniture. I have a table with a few chairs there, some sun chairs over here, there's another table, and then dining room furniture and some furniture over here in this area. I basically went to B&B Italia and downloaded all kinds of furniture from there. You can pick any source you want, it's up to you. You don't have to follow this kind of furniture arrangement. Just come up with something that has furniture over here in this area and some furniture outside. And let's look at what these views look right now. So this is going to be the view that I will render when we get to it. So let's look at this in shaded view. This looks good enough for now. Let's look at the interior view. That's the view that I will render. We have a little more work to do in here. We have to put the railing up on the second floor. We have to put light fixtures and probably some rugs and things like this. And then we'll render this, and we can try rendering this both as a daytime shot and also an evening shot. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, I see that this kind of looks a little empty over here, so probably I should place some plants over there as well, or big trees. So how about I'm going to copy this and just put it right behind the fence, and maybe grab one of these trees here. Let's look at the interior view now. Yeah, that looks a little better. And this is it for now. Not too many new commands. Really, the only new command was the topo surface command. You should be quite familiar with components and components in place by now. So go ahead, furnish the space, and then finish the outdoors, and we're going to get this ready for rendering. This is it for now. Bye.